That's just a great way to start out the morning. Thank you, kids. I really appreciate that. So let's start out by saying good morning. I'm Doug Myers, the CEO and President of San Diego Zoo Global, and welcome to the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. Today is all about rhinos and elephants. A better place to celebrate the two largest land mammals on Earth, the San Diego Zoo Safari Park. These safari parks had more than 200 births, almost 200 births, over the last 40 years of rhinos. It's the largest number of any zoological institution in the world. And we're currently building a rhino rescue center. Our hope is to save the northern white rhino from extinction. As you know, there's only 4 of them left. To help us do that, just last week we imported 6 female southern white rhinos from South Africa to serve as surrogates for the Northern White Rhino Project. So together with our frozen zoo, the Rhino Rescue Center, and the import of the southern white rhinos, we're ready to take our place in leading the fight against extinction. We have many partners doing this, and one of our partners is Toni Atkins. Today, Toni, who is a speaker of the California State Assembly and a wildlife supporter, is the person that during the last year worked to protect the rhino and elephant by the passage of AB 96. This is a bill that bans the sale of rhino horn and elephant ivory in the state of California. Toni, thank you for your dedication and your vision to saving species. Now I'd like to invite 2 special people up here today to thank you, because the Sampsall schools want to thank you. So it's Taylor and Lincoln. Come on up.
Dear Ms. Atkins, your efforts to help save elephants and rhinos from poachers are extremely important. We want these creatures to always be protected, so when we grow up, they will not be extinct. Your bill, AB 96, will help elephants and rhinos flourish and not be harmed. Thank you for caring so deeply. Sincerely, your 4th grade friends at San Pasquale Union School.
Our 4th grade classes from San Pasquale Union School would like to thank you.
Thank you. Wow.
Toni, we'd love to have you come up and say a few words to us.
Well, Doug, thank you, and good morning, everyone. It's an incredibly wonderful treat to be here with you, and certainly to the students of San Pasquale. Thank you so much for that incredible letter and the award. I will display it prominently in my office. It means the world to me, and it's so great to have you here. You know, I live just 1.5 miles from the world-famous San Diego Zoo. I have been a member for, oh wow, a couple of decades now, and it's always an honor to be in the presence of people who work so hard to make sure that we learn about animals, that we have the ability to see them in their natural habitat here at Safari Park, and also just people who care about conservation. And so I'm honored to be here. And as Doug said, AB 96 wasn't just about elephants. Poachers seek rhinos too for their valuable horns. And for the northern white rhino, it has been, as you've heard, a disaster. This summer we lost one of the 5 survivors in the world. And the 4 who remain, including our own Nola, who lives at Safari Park, are closely guarded, nurtured, and protected. And I also want to thank, I know we're going to hear today from Old Pajeta in Kenya, for taking care of the other 3 incredible northern white rhinos. That's so important. And California is making a difference in this fight for survival by closing the loophole that allowed for the continued sales of rhino horn and ivory from elephant tusk. And I want to let you know, Doug, we're getting calls from other states now. And that's really important because we want to make sure that we close this loophole everywhere across the country in the United States, so we're not part of that devastation that has happened so far. You know, as the 8th largest economy in the world, we in California have an impact, and our leadership on this issue is incredibly clear. So is yours here at Safari Park. And through the work of the San Diego Zoo Institute for Conservation Research, miracles can happen, and we have seen it. We're very proud of that here in San Diego. We have a well-earned reputation for innovation and breakthroughs, but this would be a true marvel, replacing what we thought had been lost forever. The work offers hope for other lost species too, and for the best reasons. This is science moving forward to correct our mistakes. Leaders in our country and around the world have seen the devastation caused by poaching and profiteering. Scientists and conservationists from San Diego and abroad are joining hands to repair the damage and even to begin anew, as is the case with the northern white rhino. And I'm proud. I want to thank you for the painting by Nola. It hangs prominently in my office, a little hay or grass still stuck to the canvas. What you're doing here, though, as inspiring as that painting is, what you're doing here is inspiring work, and I want to thank you for your dedication to see it through. And that is for them. That's for these young people, so that we continue to know the existence of such wonderful, fine creatures. So I want to thank you for that. I'm honored to be here today and honored to be part of helping California and certainly in Safari Park and the world famous, I love to say, San Diego Zoo move forward in that endeavor. Thank you, Doug.
Toni, thank you again for the work you do for wildlife and the work you're doing for saving rhinos. Today we're going to learn about another collaboration, a team that's going to work. We're going to work with to save the rhino species, working on all rhino species if we can. I'd like to introduce you to the Henshaw Curator of Mammals, a young man that's spent 37 years here at the Safari Park as a wildlife expert and has projects throughout the world. He is one of our world-renowned rhino experts, Randy Rikas. Randy?
Thank you, Doug. So a month and a half ago, we were in Kenya, and while we were in Kenya, we visited Old Pajeta, and we had a very interesting and spirited discussion with the CEO, Richard Vine, and that is one of the reasons why he is here today. So while we were in Old Pajeta, we took advantage of the opportunities to see the last 3 surviving northern white rhinos there. And Old Pajeta is a very interesting conservancy in that they have numerous black rhinos and numerous southern white rhinos also. So they have a long history with breeding rhinos as we do. Some of the issues around rhinos today are very troubling. We know that we have incredibly high poaching numbers in almost every country where rhinos are found. I just returned from India, and on the way back went to the International Rhino Foundation board meeting, where we talked about a lot of the issues surrounding rhino losses. Unfortunately, Javan rhinos are now 35 to 55 animals left in the world. Then we go to, you go from the Javan, then the Sumatrans are hovering right around 100. The one good news in this is the greater one-horn. We started the Indian Rhino Vision 2020, which is to have 3,000 greater one-horn rhinos in the wild of India and Nepal by the year 2020. Well, I'm here to tell you today that in the fall of 2014, we actually hit that number 3,000. And right now, today, we have 3,500. We have a loss to poaching, but the birth rate is higher than the loss to poaching, and most of that is because of all the boots on the ground and the rhino poaching units that we have in that country. Then we go to Africa. The eastern black rhino is around 5,300, which is small, but it's holding its own. And then we go to southern white rhinos where we have 20,000. And unfortunately, with it is the largest number of rhinos, but it is being severely poached throughout South Africa. We don't have a total number for this year yet, but unfortunately it probably will be from 150 to 200 more than it was in 2014. And then it takes us to the northern white rhino, which is, there's only 4 left in the world. The one here, Nola, and the 3 at Old Pajetta. But the good news with this is that we have a number of people and a number of institutions worldwide that are very interested in working with the San Diego Zoo Global, with our Institute for Conservation and Research. We have Old Pajetta Conservancy. We have the Drukalova Zoo in the Czech Republic. We have the Cincinnati Zoo, and we also have a couple of other institutions that are private that we are going to work with to bring back the northern white rhino. So in the years to come, there are going to be many things that are being done both here and with our counterparts elsewhere, because we want to be able to hand off a herd, a sustainable herd of northern white rhinos to some of these young kids here that are budding zoologists. So we're hoping today that some of these young kids here take up the role of working with and being animal conservationists, and that we are able to give them animals so they don't have to see them in a book. And that is one of the biggest things that we hope for you. With that, I would like to introduce a very good friend and a conservationist from Kenya. Richard Vine is the CEO of Old Pajetta, a very large conservancy in Kenya, Africa.